I'm Joe Chile. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise is Jeff Hahn from SC Parker. Jeff is the president, the owner, and a certified financial planner. How about that?
Very good, Joe.
I said certified, not certifiable. I said certified. Just make sure that we're good with it.
Thanks so much for
that. I'm very impressed when you come on, because I hate to say it and I hate to seem, uneducated, but when it comes to investments, I just feel lost. Do people, when they meet with you, do they try to put on a show? Do they try to study up in advance and come in and make like they know something, or are they like me?
I would say the vast majority are like you.
Really?
Yep, and even clients that we have worked with for decades even, we're going over the fundamentals of the markets and basic economic information, economic education really. It's a big part of what we do. Yeah.
Is it something where people panic? I mean, do people go and they say things like, things are going down. I mean, the market's going down. Market's changing. I'm really nervous. Should I pull out and put someplace else or whatever? Do people ask you these things, and is that a wise decision?
Usually not a wise decision.
Yeah. Okay.
You're into timing the market, and that's an investment practice that has been proven to lose your money, right?
Really?
It's one of the worst investment practices out there.
So you're trying to tell me that, just watching the film Wolf of Wall Street doesn't make you a financial expert?
Oh, maybe not. It might make you an expert in some other things, but not on the investment and finance side. No.
What's the market like right now? I mean, the bond market, market conditions, stock market. What are we looking at right now at the present time?
Well, first of all, and this goes back to that education thing, right? The stock market and the bond market are two very different things. When you're investing in the stock market, you're doing it with the purpose of growing your assets. You're buying ownership of companies, and you're doing that with the expectation and the hope that they'll go up in value, right? Now, they change in price every second of the day, Joe. So you got to be aware of that when you're in the markets. The bond market is loans. So people put money into the bond market to preserve their asset and generate some income from it. So it's different things.
All right, so an individual that is investing that's younger should be looking at what as compared to somebody that's older, my age?
Yeah, so when you're younger, you can take on more risk generally, and you have a longer runway, and you will profit from that in most cases. We can't guarantee profits and all the rest of that, right? As people grow older and they want to preserve more of their asset or use more of their assets to live off of, that's when you start seeing it shift out of the stock market, maybe into the bond market or the money markets and that kind of thing.
So if you're talking to someone about getting their financial affairs in order, right? What are you talking about? Are you talking about understanding what your finances are? Are you talking about, well, we've got to shift this, shift that, shift this, depending, and is it really age related at that point?
It is always good to have your finances and your investments in good order and organized. And we spend a lot of time with our clients just working on that point and explaining to them what they own, right? The other thing where that comes up a lot, Joe, is when folks get older and they need help with their financial affairs. So maybe the kids who are at that time adults themselves or middle-aged or that kind of thing, they're scrambling trying to figure out what mom and dad have. And we go through that a lot, right? And it's something we try to solve those problems well ahead of time, because if mom or dad passes away and they aren't taken care of, what could have been taken care of in a couple minutes or hours can take months or years to sort out.
Jeff, this is going to sound kind of weird, but do you ever have a situation where mom and dad just don't want to tell the siblings what they have?
All the time.
Really?
Yes, and we have family meetings, we call it, right? Where we'll bring the whole family into the conference room and say, okay, here's where it's at. And it's a real important thing. We're all in charge of our own economy, Joe. And as folks grow older, they need help. And the help they get will depend on the information that they give, right? And it's really an important thing. And it's great financial planning. And I gotta say, not to brag, but it's something that we handle extremely well in our office.
That's really good because people aren't generally in school educated on this, right? I mean, it seems to be a little bit of a failing in education.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to get on.
We only have a
I don't
minute
want
or
to get
so
on the
left.
soapbox, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
I think this is a huge problem for our society, and it's neglect on the part of the education system, quite frankly.
Really?
Yep.
Did you have a hard time explaining to your kids about it?
Well, my kids all did the one business class that talked about finance and investments at Williamsville South High.
You didn't
It was
teach
an
it.
elective, right? Now, why you would not have them take an economics and basic budgeting and basic fundamentals of investment and that kind of thing? They're all going to be working in the economy at some point in time. They're participating in it. I would think it's a yearly thing that they should do.
Right.
Kind of like physical education, financial education.
Fiscal education, right? Yeah, there
hey,
you go.
excellent.
That works. There
Yes.
you go. All right, Jeff. For more information and answers to your questions, contact SC Parker by calling 716-632-6800 or go to scparker.com. Sponsorship and promotional considerations for the preceding segment was provided by the following.